Welcome back, investors, to Ticker Time News. I'm Adam, and the stock market last week, it staged a dramatic character change, with the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ posting their best weekly gains since 2020. So, what's in store for us investors this week? Well, that's exactly what we're going to get into in this video. Now, right now in the futures market, the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ are little changed, so they're holding on to their gains from last week. But just a reminder that the overnight action in futures market doesn't necessarily translate into actual trading in the next regular session market. Okay. Now, to kick off the watch list for this week, we've got Juniper Networks, ticker symbol JNPR, Nvidia, ticker symbol NVDA, Broadcom, ticker symbol AVGO, and Palo Alto Networks, ticker symbol PANW. All of those stocks right now are trading around buy points. So getting in right now on those particular stocks isn't necessarily a bad deal. Now, real quick, what I want to talk about, and it's all related to the S&P 500. I want to lay something out here for you. All last week and the week before, we've been talking about this resistance during our after hours live stream. And this purple line going down diagonally has been resistance. Well, we had a death cross occur on the 14th, which was last Monday, okay? This death cross right here, when it occurred, that was our last red day. And we had an immediate rubber band snapback all the way to the crossover point of that death cross. I put out a video last week about the death cross specifically, and on the S&P 500, the last several times a death cross has occurred on the S&P 500, we have had a snapback rally. Now, the snapback rally this time was the quickest it has been in years. The quickest that it has been. I mean, it took 4 days to get back to this crossover point where the death cross occurred on the chart. And remember, a death cross is when a short-term 50-day moving average is going down while a longer-term 200-day moving average is going up, and they cross. And that section, that crossover point, that's where you can typically get your rebound to go up to. So for the S&P 500, that was 44.70, and we closed at 44.63 on Friday. So that was an incredible snapback rally. Where do we go next? That's the big question. If the S&P 500 can get above this 44.70 mark on Monday or Tuesday and close above it, then the next place we're going to go is up here during the on this top yellow box, which is sitting right around 45.80 to 45.90 on the S&P 500. That would be the goal. Now, if the S&P 500 cannot hold this 44.70 line and it starts to sink and drop below that, then it's a real good possibility that we're going to come back down to this resistance line. Maybe this turns into support. Maybe by the time it gets back down into it, it'll be in this yellow box down here at the bottom. So that's our two scenarios for the S&P 500. It's this 44.70 mark that is the most important mark to watch for the S&P 500. Again, we close above it, and that's bullish. If we close below it, that's bearish. So just keep that in mind. All right, before we get too deep into this, could you smash that like button, share this video, and click the first link in the description to beat this market with us? All right, thank you, my friends, for doing that. Oh, and if it's your first time watching, why don't you go ahead and click that subscribe button? It doesn't hurt. It's free. It's easy to do. One tap and you're done. Okay, thank you again for doing that. All right, my Dow 30 pick for the week is Home Depot. Ticker symbol is HD. Home Depot. Last week, my Dow 30 pick was Caterpillar. Ticker symbol was CAT, C-A-T. It gained 2.26% on the week. Now, Home Depot has a strong double bottom rebound following its reaction to the February 22nd earnings beat, which you can see here on the chart. from that low right here after earnings, it has been rallying. Very nice, right? Well, for Home Depot, price has broken above a what I would call the negative channel area, and that's this purple resistance line again that's coming down here diagonally. Since it broke above this line, which had been resistance going all the way back here to January the 3rd, the very first trading day of the year, it broke above this on March the 15th. That is a good sign. Just like the S&P 500, quite frankly. It broke above its resistance too in its snapback rally. So for Home Depot, I forgot the stock there for a moment. Right now, it's in a strong rally. It has high net MFI inflows, which is money flows going into the stock. And the next test is going to be the breakout above this $340 area a share. It has a little bit of resistance there. And then, of course, we've got our 200-day moving average coming up to this. If Home Depot can continue its march higher, then I think it will continue going to $380 a share. That would be my cutoff point, which would be up here on this line, which would be the next area where there should be some resistance for the stock. So again, if Home Depot can continue this rally and break above this 340 area, then I could see it going all the way back up to 380. However, just like the S&P 500, if it gets caught up with some selling pressure, then I think we could have some volatility moving forward. Okay, let's talk about the catalyst of each day. Going to Monday, March the 21st, and it's a big day for Nvidia, ticker symbol NVDA. Nvidia hosts its GTA 2022 premiere event. That takes place between March the 21st and ends on March the 24th. Now, the Nvidia's GTC, it's billed as a developer conference for the era of AI. And it will be watched closely by many investors because it's not just about Nvidia during this event. Now, the keynote will be done by Nvidia's CEO, and that will be important. The company plans to talk about various technologies such as its GPU powered by current and next generation architecture, as well as new software methodologies. And we should also get topics including gaming, the omniverse, data centers, crypto, cybersecurity, and of course, the big one, AI. And it's what the whole event is built around. Now, shares of Nvidia could bounce if new products or contract wins are unveiled during this event. Now, the focus will switch beyond just Nvidia as executives from Disney, DSI, the ticker symbol DSI, Visa, ticker symbol V, Meta Platforms, ticker symbol FB, Home Depot even, ticker symbol HD, and True Simple, ticker symbol TSP. They also have talks scheduled for Nvidia's GTC. Now, one of the biggest speakers or presenters at Nvidia's event will be Microsoft Azure's executives, ticker symbol MSFT. Yes, Microsoft is speaking at an Nvidia conference. Well, why is that? Well, Nvidia supplies processors, GPUs, and such for the data centers for Microsoft. Microsoft's computers also. So there's a big connection there. So we'll get an overview of Azure, the HPC plus AI, and of course the personal computing and confidential computing platforms from Microsoft during NVIDIA's event. Also on Monday, we've got Nike, ticker symbol NKE. Nike posts its earnings after the bell, and it's got an estimated EPS of 71 cents a share with revenue of $10.59 billion. Now, this event could have a ripple effect across the apparel and footwear sectors as Nike updates on demand trends, supply chains, and commodities inflation. That'll be a big one for Nike. There are also stocks that are correlated closely with Nike, but the biggest one that I'm watching is Lululemon, ticker symbol LULU. And that will take us directly to Tuesday, March the 22nd, when Lululemon, again, ticker symbol LULU, will formally enter the footwear industry with its first ever running shoe hitting the market. Now, Lulu's shoe lineup will compete directly against Adidas, Nike, and New Balance. Also on Tuesday, Tesla, TSLA, they expect to begin deliveries on its new or from its new Gigafactory Berlin in Germany. That's right. New deliveries should start from Gigafactory Berlin in Germany, and that will be celebrated with another event at the plant. So Tesla stock, it's up sharply this past week, and it's broken some key levels. Can it keep going with this event in mind on Tuesday? Now, I have an oddball here for you. GDS Holdings, ticker symbol is GDS. Let that load there for a quick second. Now, the reason I'm bringing up GDS Holdings, they report on earnings, and they have an estimated EPS of a loss of 4 cents a share with revenue of $338.6 million. Now, the whole reason why I'm watching GDS is that it has one of the biggest potential moves projected by the options market when earnings drop. And that move could be as much as 34%. Now, that could be up or down. And you can see last week going into earnings, they had a 16% day after our turnaround on March the 14th. So March 15th is when it had that 16% day, followed up by a 52% day. That is just incredible. This thing is volatile and just going all over the place. So that's why I'm watching this one. It's a wacky one for Tuesday. All right, moving on to Wednesday, March the 23rd, and we have Winnebago, ticker symbol WGO. Now, Winnebago reports its earnings report with an estimated EPS of $2.94 a share with revenue of $1.1 billion. Now, Thor Industries, that's right, the mighty hammer Thor, ticker symbol THO, who is a direct competitor to Winnebago, they reported a very strong earnings report on March 9th, with Thor's third straight EPS beat of over $1. That's right, $1 a share. That was really strong earnings, and they also have a bullish outlook for 2022. So this bodes really well for Winnebago's own earnings report. Also, both Winnebago and Thor are working on EV tow-behinds and motorized vehicles. Now, it's a very small part of their business, and it's really just R&D at this point, but they are working on it. Now, the RV industry forecast projects that total North American wholesale RV shipments in this coming season will be the second best on record. So that also bodes really well for not just Winnebago, but Thor as well. So keep both of those on your radar. All right, Petco Health and Wellness Company, ticker symbol WOOF, WOOF. Now, this company will hold their first investor day ever. The presentation will cover strategic areas of focus and, of course, their financial performance expectations for 2022 and beyond. All right, moving on to Thursday, March the 24th, and we've got Darden Restaurants, ticker symbol DRI. Let that load there for you. Darden Restaurants, they own the Olive Garden, Longhorn Steakhouse, the Capitol Grill, and other restaurant chains as well, including some smaller ones. But they report earnings, and they have an estimated EPS of $2.11 a share with revenue of $2.52 billion. Now, Darden named a new CEO last quarter, but that transition doesn't happen until May the 29th. So we'll see how that is shaping up. Also, Darden stumbled a bit last quarter because it didn't post a blowout result like the company had been doing in the past. So I would expect to see inflation hit Darden from all sides and affect this business in a big way. But the stock itself, it's not quite at resistance yet. So watch this one. I do think there's going to be a lot of pressure on this stock to perform, and I'm not thinking it's going to do too well. All right, NIO, another EV automaker, NIO, they report earnings this week. That chart loads, so you can see it there. They have an estimated EPS at a loss of 14 cents a share with revenue of $1.54 billion. Now, shares of U.S.-listed Chinese stocks, they popped on Friday afternoon after a very volatile trading week and even months, with the NASDAQ Golden Dragon China Index, that ticker symbol is HXC, it recovered sharply following China's pledge to support economic growth and capital markets last week. Now, even though that was good news, for the short term, longer term, Chinese authorities will need to back their words up with actual action. Now, for the most part, Chinese EV companies have been in favor with the Chinese government, so there hasn't been a conflict there, and that news didn't really affect them. But it did affect companies like Alibaba, for example. That one really popped last week. Now, the automaker's update on supply and demand trends will likely impact Li Auto, LI, and Xpeng, XPEV, those two stocks as well. All right, getting into Friday, the end of the week, March the 25th, and we've got Jinko Solar, ticker symbol is JKS. Now, they report earnings. They've got an estimated EPS of 90 cents a share with revenue of $2.15 billion. And we all know alternative energy has been in the spotlight recently with oil prices over $100 a barrel. Just look at Future Fuel, ticker symbol FF, from our Catalyst Watch video last week. It's the maker of biodiesel. That stock took off over 16.5% after earnings. It did phenomenal. So that wraps up what I'm watching this week. What catalyst are you watching for this week? Let me know in the comments below. That really does help not just me and you, but everyone else, all of the investing community, as we get to read and engage with your comments. So please leave that in the comments below. Now, if you found this video to be helpful, informative, actionable, then click that like button, share this video, grab that URL, paste it in wherever you can, and click the first link in the description to beat this market with us. So that's that, right? We got it all in. Okay, good. So it was a pretty good episode today. We got everything covered in under 20 minutes. That's good with me. I hope it's good with you. Thank you so very much for watching. Oh, and remember, every day the market is open at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. We are here live to answer your questions. That's it. Simply there. We come live 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Every day the market is open to answer your questions. So show up, bring your questions, and we'll get into it. Look at the stock chart, financials, whatever it is you want us to dig into, we'll do it together. All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. Hope you have a wonderful week investing, and I'll see you in the next video.